Today is going to be a little different. I'm going to be looking at GameStop on Bulkowski's Patternz software. That's Patternz with a Z. This software is chart pattern recognition and candlestick pattern software. It's going to generate price targets and show confirmation lines. It's going to label everything. It's great. It's available on the patternsight.com, Bulkowski's website. Let's go ahead and pull up the charts. This is what his program looks like. There's some customization to do with the colors, but it's not a whole lot. This software is pretty old. I want to say it probably was 10 years ago that Bulkowski developed this. I don't really know. I guess I could look that up. When you do download it off of his website, if you do choose to do that, Windows will say, hey, we don't know who the publisher is, and it's Bulkowski, and I haven't had an issue yet. So here we go. Let's talk about this. Why do I want to pull up GameStop? Why now? Because this is the first time that I've seen GameStop appear on Bulkowski's blog under a recognized and tradable chart pattern. So when you do look at this page, you can see up here that there are a bunch of targets and overview. And when Bulkowski has the CPI here, he's talking about his chart pattern index. So his chart pattern index is green, of course, because his patterns are statistically likely to be, met. Like, that's all there is to it. He says, hey, breakout, 68% chance. And then guess what? It probably happens. So you're going to see that there's some pivot point analysis here and some pattern trading setups for the weekend, and he did this on Friday, right? You can see he says that you can find setups based on Fibonacci retrace by following this link. He's providing a ton of information here. It's fantastic. And here's the list. So you're gonna notice AMC is not on here, and I still haven't seen AMC on this list yet. We keep scrolling down to G, and you can see that GME actually does have a recognizable and tradable pattern called a flag, a high and tight flag. Ooh, high and tight flags are incredible. Let's just go ahead and look at this. He says that percentage mean price target's like 82%. He says uses a half height target. Okay, whatever. Price trend. He says upward leading to the flag. Price must rise at least 90%. Shoot for a double in 2 months or less. And I think we have that on GameStop. I'm pretty sure we were way down here in sub 90, and now we're looking at 150, so that's pretty good. He says that volume recedes for best performance, and we do have a drop in volume on the data consolidation. Continuation. The pattern confirms it's valid when price closes above the highest peak in the pattern, which is usually the flagpole top, which is true. Okay, so let's have a look here. The measure rule is incredible. Compute the height from the start of the price swing A in the measure rule figure to the right to the end. Take half of it, add to the bottom of the flag. Okay, but let's keep going. Breakout. Only buy when price closes above the highest peak in the chart pattern, including the flagpole. That is point B in the measure rule figure to the right. Buying sooner risk price, never confirming the pattern, and that has happened. AMC had a high and tight flag that never confirmed when it ran to 34. He says tight patterns. Trade tight flags, not loose ones. Tight flags better are better than loose ones. A loose flag is one in which price meanders, or it kind of wanders around the trendline boundary, contains white space. And that's true for this flag. It is, unfortunately, but that's okay. Slope, trendline trade, all these things. Here's an example of a high and tight flag. Yeah, that looks like a half staff formation to me. That happens a lot with these high and tight flags. So let's go ahead and have a look over here at Bulkowski's software, and it's kind of hard to read if you're new to it. There is a small trade down in the bottom left, and this is going to let you know whether or not the trade identified is open or completed or closed. He has the description next, the day the pattern started, its ending date, the breakout date, the target, and a volatility stop. So I've got this turned on the daily. You can see there's some options here, and this is the best I could do with the colors. What I'm looking at right now is a high and tight flag with a target of $183 on GameStop, as identified by Bulkowski's Patternz software, which is fantastic. This is great news for GameStop, and it's undoubtedly great news for AMC too, as those two stocks tend to trade very, very tightly together. So I'm really happy about seeing this. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the webpage here on Patternz. I think you might actually just have it linked in one of these drop-down menus. Trading help, psychology. This is a big one. That's a big one. If you haven't visited this page, like I really, really recommend you do. So here under other, I'm going to click on software. Let me just blow this up a little bit. Here you go. Patternz is a free desktop software application, and you can download it right here. It's great. And then he provides a guide on how to use it, which is another great thing. So my experience has been that Patternz doesn't identify all the patterns, and sometimes it identifies some weird stuff that never happens. So you got to interpret the results here. This is just a software program. I'm now going to pull up SPY to see if I can get a good candlestick read on that. I'm going to fade out. Fading back in. Okay, so this is SPY, and I do have some things here. We do have an exhaustion gap that ended on 527. So he's saying that we had an exhaustion gap if the price fails to continue to rise. And that's really interesting. I wasn't expecting that. I'm going to go ahead and show candlestick patterns here. I'm just going to scroll through. You can see how this works. So there's an exhaustion gap. We haven't broken out of it yet. Scroll over a little bit. Volatility stop, trade status open. No targets provided yet. Now this 3 inverted, what is that? I can't even read the abbreviation. This is a 3LR. What does that mean? Oh man, I'm gonna have to look that up. Some of these abbreviations are hard. Open narrow 4 is another open trade here with approximate target of 427. You can see that's generated by this narrow range here. And the price already moved up and then turned around. So this is what I'm saying. Some of these patterns don't play out, and that's probably one of them. I, however, don't have a good read on the candlestick pattern there at the end with those 3 massive white candles. I thought that we'd get something, but I'm just going to zoom through here. Have a look. There we go. Rising window, bullish continuation 75% of the time. That's a good read on those candles right there. That is the feeling. So we don't have a confirmation yet. Not until we get a close above those 2 candles tomorrow, on Tuesday, not tomorrow. We have a narrow range 7 back here with a target near 431. We did have a long black day, and you can see that when I'm scrolling through this on the bottom left tray, that the little circle pops above the candles as it identifies them. So let me go back up and just click on that rising window again. You can see those 2 dots there show those 2 candles that are forming that candlestick pattern. There's a lot of open trades here. An outside day. Look at that. That was also set on Friday. Approximate breakout date was the 25th. When did this start? 519 ended 520. Oh, okay. So that was actually back here, and it had a target that was recently reached. Is that true? Trade status completed on Friday. Yep. So that was a good one. That was a good one. Fantastic. So if you use this program alongside Bulkowski's trading tips, I think that would be pretty good. Maybe I should test this directly. I haven't really tested it because, again, sometimes the software doesn't, I don't always agree with the software. Almost all the patterns I've identified on AMC with their targets being met haven't been shown here on Patternz. So I'm feeling really good about GameStop. I wanted to share what Bulkowski's software was, and Django's wanting to do a competition in my Discord, which is, I think, totally okay. Remember, everybody, don't pressure each other to make any trades. It's a bunch of individuals just talking about what they do. There is no pressure to do anything ever. You always trade at your own risk. No one's a financial advisor there. There's no professional advice. We're all just a bunch of amateurs having a good time hanging out in the lounge. With that, I'm going to sign off. Happy trading.